We got Duncan on the way, Iron Maiden on the radio. It's gonna be a good week. That's unfortunate. So's that. How you guys doing? Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. I'm Jimmy. We're making it work, and we're getting the shop opened up. Cool morning, a lot of rain, surprisingly low humidity for the first day back to school. You'd think it'd be more humid. Maybe those two things aren't really correlated. Got all my gaskets ready to go. Got this engine ready to be worked on. We'll see if we get to that today. This is the one I talked about last week. This one we couldn't get it to act up. I didn't get enough really to spend a lot of time on it. And Mercury's coming to get it. He's going to do it himself. I'm almost wondering if there's a hose connection to his fuel pump that he put in that's not tightened or something like that, or split. I'm not sure what else is going to happen today, but we'll see. I know one thing. We're going to learn things. We're going to have fun. It's going to be an awesome week. We're just getting rolling. Hope it's an awesome week for you. Let's finish getting this place open up. See what we can do to get started. Man, it's nice out this morning. Did I mention that? It's like 74 degrees. It's like 5 degrees cooler than normal in the morning. It's exciting. Let's get to work. Stay tuned. While waiting to have our shop meeting, we might as well look at my new stuff. I borrow Joe's sometimes, so I bought my own. Timing cover alignment tool. Rear main seal alignment tool. And the oil pan alignment tool for when you put the rear cover on. You bolt this to the oil pan area to make sure everything's flat. 25 bucks on the Amazon website. What do they call it? The Jungle website. Kind of curious what the meeting's going to be about, but it's usually about stuff mechanics do wrong. So we'll see. I find the meetings are rarely ever about what management does wrong. It's usually about the stuff mechanics do. But we'll see. You never know. All right, I'm still getting the shop open up. Just walking around in circles, waiting for everyone to roll in. I guess the start of school has the traffic a little messed up. I'm gonna tinker with the Corvette till we figure out what's going on up front. It's like 8:45, and I don't really know anything about what's going on. I know that we can't work on our cars after hours anymore unless someone's here with us. No one's allowed to work on a car by themselves after hours, so I guess the project truck's gonna come to a halt, which I haven't been working on it because it's August and it's hot anyway. But in any event, there's some parts coming for the Silverado and a couple other things. I got the Dakota running, see if that'll stall. I'm noticing that I got to remind them about this hose. I'm going to tinker with the engine in the meantime until we get our bearings. It'll take an hour or two to figure out what's going on. And then we'll try to get some stuff done in the meantime. New valve cover gaskets. I'm going to do those first. It's easy right at the top. And then I'm going to do the valley gasket at the top. And then everything else is timing cover, rear main, and oil pan. So I got to remind them about the spark plugs too, and see if we're going to put some spark plugs in while we got it apart. 8mm for the valve cover. We'll clean that up in the parts washer. They also said if you want to order parts through the shop, it's a 10% markup on them, and they have to be paid for the same day. Interesting. I can't explain any of it, so I don't even try. I just do what I got to do to make it work every day, and that's what I'm going to keep on doing. Pretty good inside. I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. That's good to see. It's been reasonably well taken care of. I've cleaned everything off really well here. This was all black before, and it's all on the ground here now. I'm on like 6 cans of brake clean to try to get some of the nastiness off of it while I work on it. So let's clean this thing up and see how that goes. Got to change the rubber bushings on the valve covers too. You guys know that's what presses the gasket down, right? gasket on the Corvette engine is complete. To get the valley cover off, you got to undo these coolant bleeding tubes, just for transferring a little bit of coolant around to ports that don't get it otherwise. Should be little O-rings on the bottom of it, if I remember correctly, or there's little tiny gaskets, little metal and rubber gaskets. Hopefully I have some in one of my kits here. I got tons of gaskets, so I should have them. These just slide up on the wire, and you get these little squeeze tabs out of here. You squeeze it to open it up like this. So this should all come out of here now. Remember, I think you do have to take the knock sensors out, but that's what I thought. Because it threads to the block, not the cover, so I got to grab a, I think it's 7/8. And I believe they're 14 foot-pounds. If you disturb them, you got to put them back to 14 foot-pounds. Then I'll be able to lift that valley cover off. Two of those knock sensors. Clean this thing up. I think the fuel pump stuff's here for the Silverado. I don't remember if I filmed it last week. I was out there in a creeper in the parking lot diagnosing the lack of fuel pressure. I told them the fuel pump driver module seems to be bad, but you don't know if the fuel pump is what took that module out or not until after you put a fuel pump module in there, so they got me both. So I'm going to go put the module in out in the parking lot on my back, and then we'll start filming after that and see if it runs. A couple rubber discs go down over the posts in the block. So you got to make sure you pop those off. Comes with new ones. They face like this so that they sit down on that post, and the cone kind of helps everything guide itself into place. This and the gasket, we're putting it back on. I don't want to go work on the other vehicles while this is open in case it rains or something. I've got everything capped off except for the valley I'm working on right now. Got a gasket here, they got everything, man. Parts are rolling in here like mad. That's what it looks like down in there. I don't see any flaking on the cam lobes, which would mean the hardened surface has been compromised. All that looks good. A little more cleanup work on the flange there. We're going back together. Got to clean up the threads on these bolts. Our little Dakota is still running. It's probably going to run out of gas before it acts up, but we'll see. I'll know pretty quick when I try to start it up and it won't restart. Then I spray a little carb cleaner or something in it, it'll fire up. I'll know it's out of gas. Or something related to the fuel system's going on and it's just still low. It makes it interesting doing that kind of thing. I asked him to get me 5 gallons of gas in a gas can or something, or to drive it up there, but the problem is you go drive it and then it won't restart at the gas pump. It's embarrassing. We'll see. So,
you have to push that truck in, right? I'm assuming, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Gotta torque the valley and the O2 sensors.
Gonna go head out to work on that truck. Got a lot of work down there. He's doing a rear main seal and a tune-up and a bunch of other stuff. Needs it today. I put the fuel pump module in it and drove it in. What's a good idea to do on these is check how much amperage the fuel pump draws. See if it's working that module too hard. The module is the most common failure and the fuel pump second. So the customer said, do them both, I gotta make it home. So we're doing both. I put the module in and started, but we're not gonna do the amp draw testing. They don't wanna do any of that. So we're gonna do what we're told. We're gonna put them both in, and I know it'll be fixed because I already drove it in. Had to build up fuel pressure. It has to feed the high pressure pump, and then the high pressure pump has to step up the fuel pressure again. So it cranked about 8 seconds and fired up. Got brand new GM parts right over here. This is a 2020 Silverado with 36,000 miles. It's out of warranty because we checked on that too to see if we can get it covered. But well, there's two ways to do these Silverados. You take all the bed bolts out, you loosen them on that side, take them out on this side, and you raise the bed up about 10 or 12 inches on an angle. The problem is with these newer body styles, I'm not really sure how well it all clears. And also on this one, the tank isn't a really giant one, so it doesn't go up to the canister like some of them do. So this tank might be easier to just drop from the bottom. A couple 15s, couple lines, the filler hoses, and it's out. I think I'm going to do that instead of raising the bed. On the older ones, raising the bed's real easy, and it wasn't as complicated right here, so you don't have to worry about scratching stuff. So let's drop the tank. I think I'll grab the transmission jack. Fuel line's discombobulated, and an evap line. The way to drain the fuel out of the tank too, but usually you can not do that. If it's really full, it's probably a good idea. But this one's a little over half. So we'll get our training jack out here with the tank apparatus and lower it down so we can reach the top. You gotta be able to fit the straps. There's a strap on one side and a hook on the other. So once you unbolt it, you gotta be able to unhook it. So this might get in my way a little, but we'll figure it out. Good, 15 on the tank straps. Tight squeeze. With a filler neck hose, not a lot of room to get to it, and it's holding it first. So there's not much slack in it. I could take it off higher up, but then it's going to be a pain getting it past the frame and all. So we'll do it this way. A little bit of a struggle, but I'm hoping it pays off in the long run. There's a lot of pine needles and stuff on the tank too, from the gap between the bed and the cab, I guess. Either that or something built a nest up there and I get bit in a second. 8mm. Could not get to this lower connection for nothing, so I took it off up by the filler neck instead. I'm going to take it off of here though and put it back on the filler neck. It'll be real easy to put it back on once it's down. The way they have this set up, when you have tension on it, the release clip's at the bottom because you have the tank drop, right? So this turns from here to here. You can disconnect it, you can't disconnect it. The way these new connectors work, they had to change them because obviously these things are flying off left and right. So now you pull this little lock piece up and then you can squeeze this down. So you got to release this lock. I don't know if you can tell, they're two pieces, and then the inside piece will let you push it down to release it from the little tab. And they're all like that. Some of them you can't get to, some of them you can. So this goes like this, dunk. This goes like this. I'm not even sure if it'll let you assemble it that way until you've released it. I'm not sure. But I'm just gonna leave them released for now. Now this lock ring guard slash line guard has to come off. And as a tool you can use, I have a tool for it. Pretty inexpensive universal one that you adjust the size. A lot of times you can just use a pry bar and a hammer and put it in this little slot. Give it a whack in that direction till this goes to the larger part of the ring. Getting them back together is a little more entertaining, but I think we're going to do it that way instead of getting out the special custom tools. Quite the contraption, huh? We'll clean it up, put a little bit of deep creep on it, going back together, help us, and then you just gotta hit it in the other direction. What happens a lot of times, I feel like they're never going to come out because you're hitting it nice, you're being gentle, and you're trying to convince it to cooperate. It's another one of those things that when you stop asking nicely, it comes right off. And match this up to the new pump. Comes with a new O-ring, and the O-ring's red on the new one, right from the GM factory. I blew this off before I took it apart, but can't get 100% of the debris out of there, so I try to very gently clean out that slot where the O-ring sits. Any trash in there is a path for gas to leak past the O-ring when it's all back together. No margin for error with putting the lock ring on, I'll tell you that. This lock tab has to go where it says lock tab, which I'm doing that, but the module isn't quite flat all the way 100%. It has to be down 100% of the way for you to engage all the tabs, get it flat to turn it. That's what I'm dealing with now. We're having fun. Make sure they're all started up to some degree. I'm going to use something even better than deep creep. A little bit of brake grease. Just where the lock tab, there's little nubs on here that engage with the locks. Let's see if we can get this to go in one good whack or not. Halfway. The center, you see where the little bit of grease is, and there's like, looks like there's 3 bumps. The center bump is where it's locked in place, so we're good to go. Start putting this thing back together. Button this line up. That's clicked in. That's locked, and it looks like one piece. Pretty tricky, huh? Fuel pressure sensor, tank pressure sensor, fuel pump connector, and a vapor line up to the filler neck, which I put it back on up there. We should be able to go back together now. All over but the crown. The filler neck hose right there. With the tank a little lower, you can see it from the bottom, but you can't get to the clamp because it faces up. That's why some guys will take the bed off, but these newer ones, there's quite a bit going on here. Oh, I also have to, let me do that while the tank's down. I plugged in the new module, left the old one there. I got to take they're either 8s or 10s, 2 of them. Take the old module out, put the new one in. You see the old one versus the new one. See the difference there? It's an updated part. It's supposed to be more durable, I suppose. Right from the GM power plants, where they make the fantastic 6.2 liter. The jury's still out on that. It seems like every manufacturer is having some kind of major problems with their products lately. Between quality control issues and they're all making things as cheaply as they can. Whoever gives them the lowest bid gets the job. Pride in your workmanship and pride in your brand and your reputation seems to have taken a backseat to profit. Make as much money as you can, as quickly as you can, and you'll make so much money it won't matter if stuff happens. But it's just not true. Watch your head. Oh, rookie. Why do you have to face the other way? I'm assuming for assembly, which with the bed off, piece of cake. Oh, I pushed my. Oh, that's what happened. Kill me, bro. One more of those and the tank's going back in. Should be able to reach some electrical connectors from the other side. Filling that hose is last. Now that I've got a better idea where everything is, I do have the ability to fit my 1/4-inch ratchet in there with the tank all the way up. The filler neck's above the frame rail just a little bit. And then look with the mirror, it feels like it's past the filler neck, but let's make sure it's all the way on. You guys see it? There it is in the mirror. So, good. Couple tank straps and fire this thing up. There we go. We'll hook up them 2 front lines and we're coming down. Alright, let's fire it up before we kick the lift out. I'll probably hiccup here because there was still fuel in the rails and the pump, but there's going to be air between the low pressure pump and the rail. We'll see. Got to clear that check engine light out of here. Take this thing for a drive. 35,149 miles. Like a rock. Was that what they used to say? Chevrolet? I guess those days are over. Let's get in there, clear some codes. She's made it 4 years, 35,000 miles without a major repair till now. Honestly, there should be a recall on those fuel pump problems, but I guess until enough people have that problem, these companies eventually, profit is good. You need to have profit, obviously, to stay in business. But when you're selling $60,000 trucks that can't go 36,000 miles before a major failure, you got problems. I don't know what they're doing, honestly, between the quality control, getting stuff made as cheap as possible, and then quality control on the cheap stuff isn't any good either. So they're just cutting so many corners. How far can you cut it down? How high can you raise the price? But what they're doing, they're smart. They're also obsoleting out the older vehicles, so you don't have a lot of options. If you need transportation to get to work, what do? Just make sure you got an extended warranty, I guess, and then they they back out. They don't hold their end of the bargain either. They back out. All these companies, and it could even be in places where you work. They're just trying to find ways to get money from everybody, and including you and me and people that work hard. But they're not providing the service that they should for giving you value for your money. They just want your money, and there's no value. It is what it is. It's tough. Matter of fact, since they've started raising all these prices on groceries the past couple of years, we've lowered our grocery bill because we just buy a lot less stuff that we don't need. So they're shooting themselves in the foot by doing it to me, but I guess most people don't cut back and go, I don't need chips and cookies and pretzels, and you know, they don't do without. They can't just go, I'm not going to buy it. And I think that's probably part of the reason they can get away with it. If everybody just goes, nope, not buying it anymore, it's too expensive, then that product's value hits the bottom, and they have to lower the prices, right? I don't know, just my thought while this is working. We're gonna minimize that today. We're gonna get some work done, I got a feeling. They keep walking around with red envelopes, seeing who they can get to work. Jason's so mad because they interrupted him for a flat repair and oil change. It was funny. Let's go take this thing for a drive and see if we get back on the Corvette, or maybe we'll play with the Dakota. I was having a Dakota running because I was right there working on the Corvette engine, and if it stalls, I'd be right there to check for spark and stuff. But once I had to come in here, I shut the Dakota off. So we'll have to warm it up again if we're going to be going back on the Corvette. We'll see. Aha! The Nissan hybrid from last week. I drove it a couple times, could never get it backed up again after clearing the codes. I drove it again 7 miles. I pulled in the parking lot. As I pulled in the bay, bink, the battery light came on. It's not charging the battery. This system, the way these work is, it's got the 150 volt battery, hybrid battery, and the voltage can vary on that up to 300 volts, I believe. See, the battery light's on right now, it's not charging. And the way it does is that DC to DC converter takes some of the high voltage battery voltage and keeps all the 14 volt system working. So yeah, it just shut off. Now that's probably because the battery voltage went too low. We got it to do something now, so that's cool. I can test it. I'm gonna have to get to the DC-DC converter. It's probably gonna be bad, but I gotta make sure I got powers and grounds going into it, and it's not sending the stuff we need to keep the battery charged. So it doesn't have your conventional alternator type setup. I mean, it might also have an alternator. I don't think so though. Let's take a look. I'm making some assumptions because we're early in the process. Ah! All right, there you go. When it shut off, the voltage actually went up. So it is actively discharging the battery when the DC converter decides to stop coming to the party. And it is intermittent. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna dig into this thing and see if we can sort it out. Back where we were this morning, Dakota's running. Tricky little sons of guns. They're so cute over at GM. I think I need me an extension for that one. Let's see. Oh, look at this. It's like Milwaukee and GM got together and made it perfect. All right. Oil pan should be about ready to come off of there. I'll get my bolts in the parts washer. Winged Wonder. It's dirty, but it doesn't look bad. Underneath the dirt, it's alright. And these sons of guns have a sweet 12 point. Looks like about a 26 or 28 millimeter bolt. Turkeys. I'm gonna see if I have a socket that'll fit that. Cool. End of the round. I thought it was going to pop right off. Someone done glued it on there, pretty near good. Got them cool Velcro gaskets that come with it, or whoever makes those, what's the Mick something or other? Mick gasket? Now, I've stalled long enough. This aftermarket balancer doesn't come off like the factory ones. Those have the spokes and you put the tool in, and you put a post down the center. This doesn't do that one. So we're going to come up with something old school. I'm imagining things. That's the crankshaft. That is not the balancer. So this thing is just on like Donkey Kong. Alright, I gotta get the right size socket, stop horsing around. 9/16. Not the right lubricant, but I want something that'll penetrate in the threads, so now I got them loaded. Socket's getting hot. A little tiny tool that could. People want to pretend these have 550 foot-pounds. They can't do a simple task like that. It's more like 60 foot-pounds. What a difference a larger anvil makes. Parts washer, but no need to clean this one. We got a whole new timing cover. For some reason, instead of just the gasket, it's aluminum. Maybe they saw it was an updated design or something.
What the fuck you doing, man? I told you, just an oil change.
Tune up an oil change. That's what I'm doing. Tune up an oil change.
Supposed to be just an oil.
That's the slack side. It's good. Got my cool alignment tools. Might as well try and use them. This emulates the oil pan, but you don't have to put RTV and make a mess. So I'm not going to use there's another alignment tool that goes in place of the seal if you're just trying to align the cover. But I'm not going to press out the new seal and try to press it back. It's going to do more harm than good, I think. This is a Dorman timing cover, by the way. Not sure how I feel about it yet. I'll let you know in a month or two. Or a day or two. What's the worst that could happen? Have to do over? What's really strange is this crank pulley has a keyway, but these crankshafts don't have a keyway. It's hot rod stuff, I guess. That is interesting to me. And it was, you guys saw how tight it was getting off of there. Not too sure I like that. If you look really closely, this is the part that seals. This is dust seal. This is the seal in here. So I can turn my screwdriver. It's a little, looks a little wider on this side. I might need to have them get me another seal and use my alignment tool. I didn't tighten any of these up yet, of course. They tell you to tighten these two, snug these two, put your alignment tool in, and then torque all these bolts. Pull the alignment tool out and put the seal on. The good thing is, I probably could even use the balancer to line it up, but I don't like to rely on the seal lining itself up. There's a spring behind here on most of them, but these Teflon seals, it just relies on that Teflon burnishing into the sealing surface. There's no real spring on it. The material behaves like a spring. Let me ask them what they want to do with this thing. I kind of would have rather got AC Delco seals or GM seals for it and cleaned up his original timing cover, but it seems like a great plan on paper to put a new cover on there. But all right, my oil pan simulator's in place. My timing cover looks pretty centered to me. That is the right balancer. I double checked. There's a couple different options. This is one of them. 2305. There's a 2301 from Summit. The keyway thing, they all have it. Like, it's multiple applications, I guess. But anyway, this tool will let me get a really good visual of how well it's centered. Now you can't align it. You can't align it up and down because it's gonna be flat with the oil pan no matter what. You can only align it this way. I think we're gonna be good right there. Calling an audible. The timing cover has no warranty if I pop the seal out of it, supposedly, but I don't know who would know unless they watch my videos. But I'm satisfied with that. It's not going to be a problem. I'm going to call perfect. And of course, you gotta put RTV in any of these seams when we put the oil pan on, but probably not gonna get that done today because you gotta get the rear timing cover done. I'll have to take that off to torque that one. See what we have for installer tools. I got this sweet Mac Tools balancer installer kit. That's not the nut hitting, that's the tool hitting the crank. I think I've gotten it to work on like 2 engines over the years. That was a waste of 150 bucks, wasn't it? So that's cool. Got all these old tools that don't work, that they obsolete out about every 5 years. You gotta buy more.
send out hard hits or love taps. I could probably put my thumb in between there and it would still be fine. Don't try it with your thumb. I don't know if that's on there far enough, but it's on there. We're gonna see. I got a little warm. I gotta get a torque wrench and torque that, but first I'm gonna put the flywheel back on the motor and things like that, and then we'll come back to it. We had to make it work on that. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Huh. Cleaned her off a little bit. Want the old girl presentable. When we head out to the cars and coffee. This goes like this. Howdy, howdy, ho. I know the balances aren't good. For two reasons. I'm wondering if this shoulder is your indicator that it's on all the way, and it's straight with the AC belt, but we're still going to torque it and that'll confirm it 100%. Now we got to see if we can sneak that rear cover out of there. That's going to be a little more interesting. Tell you what, if you don't like getting messy, you won't like doing this kind of work. And honestly, I like getting messy, but I love fixing cars, so I gotta deal with it. That's all there is to it. That one, it's not going to come out like the rest. It's going to require a ratchet wrench. It's going to show us what it can do. Now my plan on this, similar kind of thing, I got a rear cover with a seal in it ready. So what I'm going to do is put the oil pan on without a gasket, get everything all lined up, put the bolts in, just kind of snug these two corner bolts, install my cover, put my alignment tool on there the best I can to make sure my seal looks centered left to right. The oil pan is going to hold it up and down perfectly. The good news on this one in the rear is when you push it over the crankshaft, it kind of centers itself, but if you're kind of ham-fisted, you can pull the cover off one side or the other, and then in about 5,000 miles they'll be back leaking again. You don't want to do that. You want to definitely put the cover in, lined up to the oil pan, and let it kind of settle in. My alignment tool will fit in this edge and show me how close I am left to right. Oh, you're killing me, bro. The ratchet wrench won't ratchet, and I can't turn it with my fingers. What do I do now? Calling someone with really good grip strength. Younger man, myself 10 years ago, I can feel my thumb dislocated right in the back here. It keeps going pop, pop. That's cool. You'll see. I was afraid of that. It doesn't fit. Oh well. Got the engine hoist on the front. Got a little more room back here. I thought I was so smart when I found out it worked. That's all. Well, what's the big deal? I'm gonna do some cleanup work. Get the new one slid in there before I bolt anything on. Nothing but love. Oh yeah, bring on the doorman, bring on the best.
You gonna try to use the tool, or you just let it center itself?
I'm gonna put the oil pan on with no gasket and put a couple of bolts in, torque it on. I'm gonna use my alignment tool just as a guide. I bought one.
Which one did you get?
Whatever they have on the jungle site.
Oh, that's the same one I got.
24 to hose, 25.
Yeah, you just got to take the seal out of the problem.
That's why I'm not going to do it.
That's why I always tell them, just give me a seal. I'll reuse the old one if it hasn't been stripped out or.
Yeah, a lot of these early ones have porous covers.
Oh.
So they wanted to replace them at first, but now it's not really a thing anymore.
And I'd be like, give me a new seal, dude. I'm gonna knock that fucker out.
No lubrication on these. This gets really close to the crankshaft. It helps with the left to right alignment. These bosses. Hi guys, I'm gonna take these rags out of here and drop the oil pan on in case it rains, which sounds like it's gonna. We're gonna button up for here. We're gonna button it up here for today though. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you got something from today's video. We got some work done. We got a couple of Chevrolet jobs done. We got the Nissan Pathfinder hybrid. DC to DC converter is going to be the problem on that one. It acted up just when I pulled it back in the shop. I think I filmed that. It reset that code P0A08, which means the DC to DC converter is telling me high voltage module something wrong with me. I can't charge the battery, the 12-volt battery. And DC to DC converter is basically the alternator of the hybrid system. So they're going to get me one. It's $3,000 for a new one, $250 for a used one. So guess which way we're going. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm not sure if we'll be doing that one tomorrow or not, but I know we'll probably be working on the Corvette a little bit. Maybe I'll torque the like button before you head out. Check out the Amazon store. Click notification. Blah, blah. You guys know. I don't have to tell you anymore. You guys know you're real good. A lot of you are really good getting those comments and mix it up. I appreciate that the most. The algorithm loves it. See you in another video. You're awesome.